Right friends, welcome back to the third capsule. This is for 10th week. We are going to deliberate on China too smart. So recent actions of China, around 7-8 actions I listed, and please go through them. The first is with regard to Tawang. In fact, China objected to the visit of Dalai Lama to Tawang. Similarly, it objected to the visit of USA ambassador to India to visit Tawang sometime back. And here Tawang is the town situated at an elevation of 3048 meters, and it is the town in Arunachal Pradesh, on one side Bhutan and on the other side China, and famous Tawang monastery was founded here based on the wishes of 5th Dalai Lama, and this is considered to be the biggest outside Lhasa. If someone is talking about Tawang, this is famous for Losar festival, and it is inhabited by Monpa people, and it is major holy site for Buddhists. So Tawang, why this Arunachal Pradesh is controversial as far as China is concerned? You see, this history of Tawang, basically we have to look at the issue why China is not accepting the sovereignty of India on Arunachal Pradesh. What is China's view? Not only Tawang, part of Arunachal Pradesh, it is not accepting as sovereign territory of our country. And what is its contention? Let us look at it. In the year 1913, Tibet declared independence, and the subsequent Chinese government did not recognize this. The Tibet's independence of 1913 was not recognized by subsequent Chinese governments, and in the year 1914, Shimla Accord defined McMahon Line. McMahon Line is the new boundary between Tibet and British India. In fact, China initiated this, but it has not signed, and China says Tibet was not sovereign because it was not recognizing the independence of Tibet in 1913. China subsequently said that Tibet was not sovereign and did not have the power to conclude the treaties. So this is the reason why Chinese map shows around 65,000 square kilometers of territory south of McMahon Line as part of Tibet Autonomous Region, right? So the basic problem with China is it is not accepting the McMahon Line as the boundary between India and China. It says Tibet was not sovereign really in the year 1914 to conclude the treaty. So that is the reason why China issues stapled visas to the people from Arunachal Pradesh, right? So having learned this, now what is the issue? China is objecting to the visit of Dalai Lama to Tawang. China resorted to similar tactic in Mongolia case. It pressurized Mongolia, but China should realize that India cannot be another Mongolia. Please look into this. This is Mongolia and this is China, and please don't forget Gobi Desert is situated spanning across China and Mongolia. And now China is in fact objecting to the visit of Dalai Lama to Tawang, and they should realize that Tawang is integral sovereign part of India. Then issue number 2, this is Taliban issue. There is a general feeling across the world that China is going soft on Taliban and is pushing for reconciliation with Taliban. What is the reason? The reason is Uyghur militants. Uyghurs, where are they? Please look into this. China's one province is there. This is Xinjiang province. This province has got Uyghur Muslims. Almost 1 crore Uyghur Muslims are there, and these Muslims are of Turkish origin. And sometimes there are news reports that China is suppressing the religious rights as well as human rights in Xinjiang province. And now China feels that some Uyghur militants of this Xinjiang province have got links with Taliban in Afghanistan. So because of this reason, China is going soft on Taliban and is pushing for reconciliation with the Taliban because of the reason Uyghur militants have expanded their presence and activities in Afghanistan. So, China believes that Uyghur militants are supported by Afghan Taliban, and that is the reason why it is going slow, or you can say reconciliatory way on Taliban. But here India's stand is very clear. India says that Taliban is hosting Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed against India. So, there is a conflict of interest on this issue between India and China. We have seen one issue of Tawang, and in this case also there is conflict of interest between India and China. Right? Look at the third issue. China wants us to join CPEC, knowing very well that CPEC passes through Pak-occupied Kashmir region. This China knows very well. Still, it wants us to join CPEC. How India joins CPEC when India's sovereign interests are compromised, when the particular project is passing through our sovereign areas, right? So, here China wants us to join CPEC. So, it is against the sovereign interests of our country as the CPEC passes through POK region. The next one is China is expanding their military drills and creating infrastructure in South China Sea. China is also going to amend its maritime traffic safety law to designate specific areas and temporarily barring foreign ships from passing through these areas. Another important aspect is China is preparing to declare international waters on the 9-dash line. China says that its territory extends up to 9-dash line, international waters. All of you are familiar with international waters. Beyond the baseline, beyond after 200 nautical miles, the international waters start. Now, China claims that these entire waters are theirs and they want to declare this 9-dash line as the line specifying international waters. So, here if they declare this 9-dash line as the international waters, then there will be lot of regulations on the ships passing through South China Sea. And here they are questioning the friendship as well as the joint military drills which are being taking place, popularly known as Malabar exercises between India, USA and Japan. They are going quite aggressively in South China Sea and they are questioning the joint military exercises which we have with Japan and United States of America, which are known as Malabar exercises. So, China wants non-interference by USA for all these things and also questions the friendship that emanated between India and USA during the past 10-15 years. Then, you see, after the development of first phase of Hambantota port. Hambantota port is in Sri Lanka. The first phase was developed by China. The first phase costed $360 million. And now Sri Lanka is feeling lot of difficulty in paying back the interest over the debt at around $30 million per annum. So, with great difficulty, Sri Lanka is paying back the interest over the debt which comes to $30 million per annum. And if you look at CPEC also, as per some news reports, only 4% for this CPEC project is coming as grant. Only 4% is coming as grant and the rest would come through commercial loans from Chinese banks. So, then Pakistan may find it difficult to pay back the debt. So, is it not the Chinese grand plan of using its muscle power in future to keep hold on these neighboring countries both economically and strategically? Then the next point is China is rebuilding its military with formidable PLA rocket force, basically targeting USA bases in the region. The ear of China is the deployment of terminal high altitude area defense, that is the third missile defense system in South Korea by USA. And the irony is, China is not happy with joint military Malabar exercises between India, Japan and USA. It is expanding its influence, but it wants us to keep silent. Then the next one is, China is supporting Pakistan and keeping silence over North Korea's missile and nuclear tests. Let me tell you once again, China is supporting Pakistan and keeping silence over North Korea's missile and nuclear tests, and this is somewhat bullying tactic employed by China, and it is directly targeting the military might of USA with these actions. And recently it granted approval to 38 Trump trademarks which cover Trump businesses. And all these businesses in president's name could be legitimate in China as per the available news reports. And the last one is, China is positioning itself as the new globalizer because of lot of protectionist tendencies in several Western countries, and it wants to do this by this Silk Road Summit in May to fuel the OBOR. And it also puts pressure on India to join OBOR, as our neighboring countries are most likely to go in China's way. So overall, China is becoming too smart, and India should be cautious with regard to the aggressive postures by China in recent times. So all these actions indicate that China is becoming over smart, and not only it tries to stamp itself as the leader, at least in Asia Pacific region, if not in the world, but also its intention is to become self-styled globalizer in 21st century under the changed circumstances of protectionism. Right? So this is all about China too smart. And with this, we are concluding 10th week capsules. Have a nice day. Thank you.